Hello everyone, this is Sarfraz from Aristotle Prep and we are looking at question number 49 from the OG 13 Critical Reasoning chapter. The stimulus says maize contains the vitamin niacin but not in a form the body can absorb. Pellagra is a disease that results from niacin deficiency. When maize was introduced into southern Europe from the Americas in the 18th century, it quickly became a dietary staple, and many Europeans who came to subsist primarily on maize developed pellagra. This is interesting because you see, maize contains niacin. Niacin deficiency leads to pellagra. Now, the Europeans who are subsisting primarily on maize are developing pellagra, which is normal, understandable, because even though maize contains niacin, it cannot be used by or absorbed by the body, which could be a reason why Europeans who, even though they consume this maize, are still contracting pellagra. The last sentence says pellagra was virtually unknown at that time in the Americas. However, even among people who subsisted primarily on maize. Now this is a problem because Americans are eating that maize and they are not contracting pellagra, whereas Europeans are eating the same maize yet they are contracting pellagra. So how does this happen? I'm sure the question stem will ask you to explain it. So the stem says, which of the following, if true, most helps to explain the contrasting incidence of pellagra described above. So it's very important to be clear because a lot of the people on this particular argument never really understand what is the contrast or the discrepancy that has to be explained. The discrepancy is that Americans eat the maize and don't get pellagra. Europeans eat the same maize and get pellagra. How is this happening? So let's go through the options. A says, once introduced into southern Europe, maize became popular with landowners because of its high yields relative to other crops. Very good, but doesn't help us explain what we have to explain. No mention of pellagra anywhere. So eliminate. B says maize grown in the Americas contained more niacin than maize grown in Europe did. That is fine, but the niacin in maize cannot be absorbed by the body anyway. So the quantity of niacin makes no difference to us. C says traditional ways of preparing maize in the Americas convert maize's niacin into a nutritionally useful form. And this, you see, gets interesting now. Because what it says is that the way Americans prepare maize results in the niacin actually becoming nutritionally useful. Normally, niacin is not useful nutritionally because it cannot be absorbed by the body, but Americans are doing something with the maize while preparing it that makes niacin useful for humans, which could be the reason why Americans are not contracting pellagra. The Europeans are doing no such treatment or exercise while preparing the maize, which is why they could be contracting pellagra. C, I think, should be the answer to the question, but we will go through the other two options also. D says, in southern Europe, many of the people who consumed maize also ate niacin-rich foods. So all the more reason that these guys should not contract pellagra. But why are they contracting more pellagra? So it doesn't help us explain at all. In fact, it further confuses us. E says, before the discovery of pellagra's link with niacin, it was widely believed that the disease was an infection that could be transmitted from person to person. Is of no consequence to what we have to explain in the argument. So C would definitely be the answer to this question. While explained questions generally tend to be easy, and this one is not particularly difficult, however, students at times do find this question a little tricky because C is not as straight an answer as you would get in, say, some other explained questions. On a difficulty of 1 to 5, I would give this one a 3. Have a nice day.